Welcome to DBL. Celine Dion is sharing more details about living with stiff person syndrome since revealing her diagnosis in December of 2022. Now, in a preview from an upcoming interview with Hoda Kotb, she talked about how it is affecting her singing. Watch.
But it's like somebody's strangling you. It's like somebody's pushing your pharynx this way.
Oh.
So it's like you're talking like that, and you cannot go high or lower. It gets into a spasm.
Celine then talked about how the disorder affects the rest of her body. Listen.
My hands will get in a position.
Like they're
my
cramping.
feet, it's cramping, but it's like in a position of like you cannot unlock them. I had broken ribs at one point because sometimes when it's very severe, it can break some
a spasm
ribs as well.
so hard that it can break a rib?
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. And the full conversation will air next Tuesday on NBC. Erica, what do you think about her story?
I think that obviously she's incredibly brave. I think a lot of times when people go through adversity, especially when it's something that you're such a small percentage of the population who's experiencing it.
1 to 2 out of 1 million has this rare.
Super rare.
And she got it.
Very rare. And you have someone who I'm sure is clearly learning about her condition in real time, but also has all of these resources, which I'm sure doesn't make it any easier. But I know during times of adversity for me, I always think, at least I'm able to take care of this, or I'm in a position to do that. And then I start thinking about what if it wasn't that way? And I start thinking about people who are gonna have it harder in my position. And what she's doing right now is being very transparent with her testimony in real time. And hopefully this is the catalyst to more education and research and funding for this disease, because ultimately that's how that happens.
That reminds me exactly of Michael J. Fox, right? Parkinson's. We all knew about it. He raised the funding. My husband donates every year like it's just clockwork, and he's raised so much money for the research and funding of just knowing more about Parkinson's. I don't think we know a lot about something that 1 in 2 million, 1 to 2 in 1 million. How did Celine Dion? See, that's what gets me.
Because it doesn't discriminate.
I know it doesn't, and it shows you that, but it's just the most beautiful gift taken away.
But Tori, I kind of feel you, because I'm going to watch this. Obviously, I need to watch it for the show, but I don't want to. I don't want to see this, because there's...
You might be inspired by her tenacity,
oh, I'm
her
sure
drive,
I will be.
her courage.
I think for me, Sam, I always wrestle with, because we always like to say, good things happen to good people. But when you watch this, when you do see a Michael J. Fox or just somebody, a Bernie Mac, where it's just like, what?
Yeah,
why?
This person that's beloved, every story you hear about him is positive. Christina Applegate. There's something within all of us where we try and make sense of this world. And these kinds of things, although I'm absolutely sure I will be inspired, it's like I don't want to be. I just want her to say I'm going to be better. And it's a very immature feeling I'm having. But I just wish good. It seems like she's done so much good for this world.
I just want to give Erica credit. We talked a little bit about this earlier, but most people, Erica always says, well, testimony teach, which is great, but it usually happens after you've gone through that adversity. That's when I do it. It's a lot more comfortable. I tend to isolate and go through things on my own because it's so vulnerable.
Yes.
And I don't want to hear any outside opinion. And for you to be doing your fertility journey in the journey is so rare, Erica, and so brave. And I just commend you, because I can only imagine when you talk about it, all the people out there who are also going through it, hopefully will have the courage to talk about it too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate that, Sam. And just for clarity too, I did mention this earlier, so I want to be very clear that I was the catalyst for that comment, and I do appreciate that. I think I understand why people are very quiet and want to make sure that no outside noise. You say one thing, and even in your most vulnerable state, someone will try to send you something in order to diminish you.
Yes.
For me,
which is amazing.
Yeah, but also, it speaks to the character and strength of a person who can continue to persevere over that. And y'all have known me for 7 years. I don't have much of a filter. I probably should have more of a filter. But if it's something that's real and true, I'm going to say it or I'm going to do it whether people agree with it or not. So I think some people are just built that way, and I think that that's also kind of therapy for me, being honest about what's happening in real time.
Beautiful. All right, we're going to switch gears to Pat Sajak. He is officially saying goodbye to Wheel of Fortune. His last episode will air tonight, and he gives a heartfelt speech thanking viewers for their support during his 40 years of hosting the show. Listen.
I've always felt that the privilege came with a responsibility to keep this daily half hour a safe place for family fun. But gradually it became more than that. A place where kids learn their letters, where people from other countries hone their English skills, where families came together along with friends and neighbors and entire generations. What an honor to have played even a small part in all that. Thank you for allowing me into your lives.
Wow. In yesterday's episode, Vanna White teared up in her farewell speech to Pat. Listen.
What an incredible and unforgettable journey we've had. And I've enjoyed every minute of it with you. You're like a brother to me, and I consider you a true lifelong friend who I will always adore. I love you, Pat.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
The juxtaposition with the speeches, right?
Yeah.
And it's all emotional. Pat's got the double-breasted
Looking
jacket.
good.
His sailor cap is right off screen, and his boat is getting gassed up.
Yeah.
He's like, thanks for the good times. I'm out.
Jeff, I was going to say, because it was such a,
Can I buy a
it was
vowel?
a very kind of to the point farewell speech. Do you think Wheel of Fortune learned something from Jeopardy? Because obviously Alex Trebek, he was passing away, but the way Jeopardy handled the baton handing, I think it was such a disaster. I wonder if Wheel of Fortune was like, here's the host, here's his last day, see you Monday with a new host, rather than like Jeopardy dragging it out. Do you like them? Do you like her? Tweet if you like and write in.
Great point.
It's just like seems like such a arguably the shows are equally as famous. Go ahead, Erica.
No, I would agree. I understand what you're saying, but Jeopardy is a very different show than Wheel of Fortune.
Agreed.
And the idea of the host, whether they know all the answers or not, there's the appearance that they do. So to find that perfect balance with Alex Trebek, and also the idea that he was terminally ill, had to have complicated things, but I'm sure a lot of that played into it.
Well, Pat Sajak, we hope you enjoy your retirement. So earlier this year, it was announced that 4 films about the Beatles were being made, 1 for each member of the band, and reportedly the cast has been selected. So let's take a look. We got Barry Keoghan, okay? Look at him. He is allegedly being cast to portray Ringo's Star Tory. Paul Mescal, who I love, I'm obsessed with him, could be playing Paul McCartney. Harris Dickinson is an English actor who is potentially portraying John Lennon. And lastly, Charlie Rowe, who is also an English actor, may be playing George Harrison.
Couldn't you say that about all of us? I may be playing George Harrison. You don't know.
So, okay, so
be a
what do you
different movie.
what do you think about the cast, Tori? Do you think this is a good idea?
Okay, first off, I don't know if they can sing. That was my first question. I'm going to learn.
Does it matter to you?
Yes, it does matter to me. And the second,
Almost like the Amy Winehouse?
yeah, and very much like Rocket Man and all of that. But second, I want to let them know is all these guys are superb actors.
Yes.
Superb. If you were getting Harry Styles and you were really doing this as the teen bop, you're missing the depth of the Beatles. You're missing the fight within the Beatles, and you're missing the misrepresentation of what Yoko was in the Beatles. So I've gone deep in the Beatles with my husband, and I appreciate them so much. They were an ensemble like us for about many years in Hamburg, Germany, and no one knew them, and they got to be very tight. And to find the politics, you need superb acting, superb writing, superb directing. I can't wait.
And Sam Mendes is directing, so
This is just random, I thought about it, but on Amazing Race, we went to that, one of the clues were in that very bar where they started.
In Hamburg, Germany? No,
Yeah.
What was it like?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was cool, just like a small
Little
little
dive
bar,
bar,
and that,
yeah.
the whole thing was so iconic because the Beatles started there. It's still there.
Do they have pictures of the Beatles all over?
I don't know, man. Watch the episode.
But probably.
Yeah,
But they did
yeah,
their 10
for
they
sure.
did their
How should we brand this bar?
They did
I
their
know.
yeah, we have the
Can we
Beatles.
leave the Beatles pictures up? Yeah, let's
We have a
let's
good
go to
core
that.
beef, but they did their 10,000 hours in that bar and became the Beatles when no one knew them. But by the time they were ready to go, they were tight as could be.
Right.
Yeah. So I think you had to have good actors, and I'm very impressed.
These
But
are
big
fantastic.
shoes to fill.
Yeah, but
This
to
could make or
Tori's-
break.
To Tori's point, they picked some of the best actors on the planet.
Yeah, absolutely.